Want to learn how to make the dress that I am wearing? Come, let me show you how easy it is. Welcome to the Creative Nest. I'm Catherine. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new here, welcome. I hope you like what you see and you subscribe for more. On this channel, I show you all things sewing, quick and easy. In today's video, I will share with you how to cut and sew this beautiful dress that I am wearing. If that is something that you are interested in, then keep on watching. Now for this dress, I use this, it's like a rayon type poly blend fabric, and I use 1.5 yards. If you are my size and you want to add ruffles to the sleeve, initially that is what I wanted to do, but I didn't have enough, so I had to turn it over with bias binding. So if you want to do that, you will be safe getting 2 yards. But I still like how the dress turned out. So let me show you the supplies that you're going to need. You need your fabric, of course. I have this beautiful fabric with tulips, and it's folded in half and then folded in half again. Next, I have my measuring tape. I have my ruler, my chalk, my scissors, and my pins if I need them. The first thing I'm going to do is create a starting line. So all of my measurements will begin from that line. My shoulder is 15, half of 15 is 7.5. So I will put that right there. And then I will put that down here somewhere, just so I could create a straight line. I do apologize if it's hard for you to see this chalk. I'm going to do my shoulder slope, which is 1 inch. Then I'm going to do my armhole measurement, which is 8 inches. And to get my armhole, I take my bust, divided by 6 plus 1.5. And that gives me about 8. Let me draw that line straight across. I'm going to measure what I have, the midpoint, and the midpoint is 4 inches. And then I'm going to come in by 1/2 inch. I'm going to draw my line up. For my neck depth, I'm going to use 3 inches. And for the back, I'm going to use 2 inches. And for the front, I'm going to use, well, actually, am I doing a V-neck? I'm not sure yet. Depends on what direction I take with the dress. So I'm just going to do 3 for the front for now. Okay, so just going to put that for the back and for the front. I think I may do a V-neck. I'm going to use my pins just to hold this in place because this fabric is kind of slippery. I'm going to take my bust measurement, my chest measurement, and my bust is 40. 40 divided by 4 is 10 inches. And I'm going to add 2 inches for ease and seam allowance. I'm going to use a straight line to attach the first 2 points. And I'm going to curve, use the curve for the other points. And then for the back, so that's the front neckline, this is the back neckline. My shoulder to my waist is 17 inches. I'm going to do another, put it over here as well so that I can create a straight line. Now, because I am going to do a A-line dress, I'm not going to take my waist measurement. So I want my dress to be 41 inches in total, and the ruffle, so I'm going to stop at 30. So I have to measure down to 30 31, and then I'm going to end it right there, and the rest will be accommodated with the ruffle. My hip measurement is 10.5, and I'm going to add 3 inches to that, so that will be 13.5. And so I'm going to draw a straight line from my bust to that 13.5. Now we could cut it out. For the front, I'm going to come down 5 inches. I'm going to connect that shoulder. Hopefully you could see what I'm doing. Let's continue to cut out the back. We're going to add a 1/2 inch for seam allowance for the shoulder, and then we'll continue cutting the rest as is. You can put the back aside and finish cutting out the front. This is the front, and this is the back. This is the back. I'm probably going to come in a little bit more because I don't know what I'm thinking with my big head. So I'm going to bring that in a little bit more. Because this fabric has no stretch to it, it's always better to start off a bit stingy and then be a little bit more generous later. So let's cut that little piece off. I'm going to cut facing for that V-neck. I'm going to use the same piece right here for my facing, and I'm going to use interfacing because just to give it a little bit more stability. So let's take the front piece and we're going to create a facing for that V-neck. All right, so let's pin that down. I'm going to trace around it. Come on. I'm going to do 3 inches. Okay, so now we can cut it out. All right, so that's the facing. I have to stabilize that first. I'm going to use my interfacing on that before I stitch that down, but I'm just going to put it there for now. I'm going to use the length of the fabric for our ruffles. So I'm going to use this entire piece. So I'm going to use 11 inches. So I'm going to measure down 11 inches. We're going to have 2 of them so we could have the fullness. All right, so those are all of the moving parts. I'm going to use bias tape for the sleeves. I'm going to turn it in, finish it using bias tape. All right, so let's get to the machine and start to put this dress together. This is the neckline, the V-neck line, and I have the interfacing already on the facing. So I'm now going to take this, I'm going to stitch a 1/2 inch, and then I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to edge stitch, and then I'm going to stitch the shoulder seams together. And then what I'm going to do after that, I'm going to stitch the 2 pieces for the ruffle, and I'm going to attach the ruffle on each of the front and the back. I'm going to do it separately and then put it together. So that is what I'm going to do. Back stitch at the beginning and at the end. What I want you to do is iron
iron your facing so that it can relax. I'm going to attach the front and back together at the shoulder seam. So I'm going to do that first. So we have our neckline finish, and I put on this little label that says handmade with love. All right, so and the shoulder seams are attached. I just have to find the gum stay to attach that, but I will do that later because I don't know where it is right now. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do, and I'm going to do that off camera because you don't need to see me do that. I'm going to use bias tape to finish off the armholes. And then what I'm going to do is, I'll put this aside. Then I'm going to use two gathering stitches at the top so that I can put my gathers for both my front and my back. And also what I'm going to do for the bottom, I'm going to do quarter inch again, and then I'm going to hem both of my ruffles down, and then I will show you the next step. This is where I am in the dress. My necklines are done. My sleeves are done. Again, I didn't have sufficient fabric, so I had to use bias tape. And also both of my ruffles are attached. I've gathered them and they are both attached. So just one more step for me to do. Well, two more steps. The first thing I need to do is I need to sew my ruffles on to the dress, and then the next thing for me to do, once I've already attached my ruffle, the next thing for me to do is to close up my side seams, and then I will try the dress on, and then I will show you the finished product. So let me do that now. All right, and that is it. That is the dress that we just finished sewing together. Wasn't that easy? And I like it, and this is to go with my summer collection. So I'm trying to sew dresses for the summer, and plus I can still wear this in my classroom. Well, I have to put on something to cover this part, but I can wear this in my classroom. It's long enough. I would have liked for it to have been a little bit shorter for the summer, but I'm glad that it's not as short because, like I said, that means I can wear it in the classroom. Okay, so this is the front of the dress. This is the side of the dress, and this is the back of the dress. And I love it. Can you tell? Okay, so if you like what you see, just a reminder to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Come and join this family. If you like sewing and all things sewing and just a little bit of something extra in the mix. I will see you in the next video. Be blessed. Bye.